Yes, the 8th.
My fault. I'll fix it.
July 8th, 2024, regular town council meeting. We do have a quorum. Brandon, would you like to do the invocation again?
Yes, I can.
7:00.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, please guide our hearts and our minds to do the best that you see fit for this town of Jarratt. Please be with our local communities, our surrounding communities in Houston, Texas, as they recover from the hurricane. In your name we pray. Amen.
And if you'll join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you call roll?
Rollins,
Present.
Mayberry,
Present.
Smith,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Kitchen, here, Bias,
Present.
Graham, present.
Next is our consent agenda. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes?
I didn't even read them. Too long.
June 10th, page 3, it says GPS where it should say GIS. And then on the last page, another typo, it should be ARPA and Judy's.
Okay. Why are so many checks being issued?
Something is not right about that. I looked at that myself. Because there are not enough check copies for all these checks that are back here. Yeah. Some of those are, let me look. Some of those are because some of us hold up paychecks for 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Yeah, we know who does that. Stick them in the pocketbook and forget them. But Adam, that's a good question about a lot of this. I don't know. I do not know.
And Jeremy started on the 10th, right?
Yes.
So he should have got his first check on the 16th, right?
10, 11, 12, 13,
Who received it on the
13, 21st. He should have gotten his first check on the 20th. Possible. Possible, all right. I don't know. I think he should have gotten his first one on the 20th.
Probably depending on who he banks, this is like that, 28, so I mean, depending on what bank he banks with, like, take a while to that bank since then.
Why? You shouldn't. Things are,
Rotation is bad in some places.
all of the checks are not on this page.
No,
On these
they're
pages,
not.
they are not.
They're the checks for what the number were.
Right.
Cause you go from
This-
41,735, skip 9 checks.
This, I printed it out, I think I printed it out today, but I don't know what happened. This is not all the checks that's supposed to be on that page, and I just noticed it tonight. I've been looking at it. I don't know where those checks are, but the checks that are there are a lot of them that are missing. So, I don't know, I'm gonna go back and look tomorrow. I'm gonna find out what's going on with that particular, shoot, I can look on right now. Yeah, well, this, that's a good point. I do all sign by mobile, you know? Let's see if it shows up on my account. If it shows up as if it gives me an account, a debit, a check number. Let me see what shows on mine.
Pat, you said you do all yours that way?
Mobile deposit,
We have copies of yours,
okay.
so
I do
they
mobile.
show up.
Okay. Now, I need to find out, I need to see if I can do it.
I was looking at 41,810, the amount of 2112, but it goes from 41,809 to 41,829.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a page missing or something. I hate to say it because you got there in the printer, but I don't think so. I think I got them all off the printer.
Well, your front page says 4 pages. He actually has 5.
The one on forward doesn't count the checks. Doesn't usually count the checks. You know, where the other pages went, I don't know.
The cover sheet goes from 1 to
I have
4,
1 to 4,
and 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
I have 1 and 4, 3 and 4. Where's 2?
2 and 4.
It's crazy. How did it go from 1 to 3?
This is the extras you
When
see.
you print it, does it print front page?
It's supposed to,
Well,
but even if it,
it might be how you. This is
Definitely need to
The
look at
print settings might have been set on print odd pages only, is what I would say happened,
Okay.
because that can be
possibly,
clipped.
yeah, that's possible. That would explain it.
That's probably why you're missing a bunch of pages of checks too.
I have to be careful sometimes of that. Watching the settings.
check into it and let us know?
I sure will.
Just trying to
Definitely, yeah, I
cover
definitely will, because that doesn't make sense. I think,
transparent with checks and balances.
right.
2112 is a pretty big number. Mayor?
Do we have a motion? Yeah, I think Adam said it.
I make a motion, I see. No, I didn't make
No,
a
he said if somebody made a
Oh, I
motion.
thought he made a
second.
motion.
No, I was waiting for the other, clear.
On the consent agenda.
I make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, Madam Clerk.
Rollins,
Yay.
Mayberry,
If you don't read it, you got to say nay, right? Because I have not had time to read it. I didn't get it, but someone could read it, and I don't have, it takes me a while to read, so I have not read it. So I'm gonna say nay.
Okay.
Smith,
Yay.
Wilson,
Yay.
Henson,
Yay.
Wait, no.
Fire,
Yeah.
Brown,
Yay.
Consent agenda passes. Next is citizens' comments.
I have a couple things. First question, probably to Pat. A resident of the town wanted to ask 5/21/24, check number 41756 for $4,661.83 to Jarratt Hardware. The question was, what was this for?
The, zero turn mower was part of it, a big part of that, $3,000 some dollars, and, two weed eaters, and, the blades, yes. So it was all grass cutting equipment. Yes, we bought vests. Yeah, there was some more, there was some smaller stuff in there, not just the lawnmowers, but, just regular stuff. The vests and hard hats and glasses, protective gear, that kind of stuff. So I know that was in there. And then two weed eaters.
Other items possibly, or?
Yes, yes. I mean, just regular items that we normally buy, plus the lawnmower and the weed eaters and the blades, that kind of thing. But, all together.
Pass this on. Pass it on.
Okay.
A couple other questions. I talked to several members of council and they can't answer this, and Melanie, I guess you're the one to answer this. How much money did the town of Jarratt receive? The COVID money, COVID-19 came to the counties down to the town. So how much did they receive in all? And I think, was there 2 disbursements from each county? Or how, well, okay, let me back up. 2 disbursements from Sussex County, maybe. I know there was one. And how much were each one if there were 2? These are things that the council members couldn't answer because you never told them. So they don't know, they couldn't answer to me how the money was spent, other than, money for, to the businesses, there was 2 disbursements to them. Then there were 10,000 for essential workers. Anything other than that, I haven't seen it in any reports that you have given to members of the town.
do you have records? Can you explain to the citizens how much money was received, where that money went to?
Are you talking ARPA funds, or
No,
are you talking
I'm
CARES
just on
funding?
COVID-19.
You're talking CARES funding.
Right, yeah.
That went through the counties.
Right.
A large chunk of it actually went to the fire department. All of the records are in this office.
Did you file records to Sussex County, or did you
Everything went
keep them
through
yourself?
Sussex and Greensville.
I'm sorry?
Everything went through Sussex County and Greensville County.
Okay. So, you got disbursements from Sussex County in one or two?
Two.
All right, I know one was for 51,502. What was the second one for?
Off the top of my head, I could not tell you six months.
But all of this has been accounted for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, everything had to be turned in to the counties,
Turned into the county, okay.
because they're the ones that got the funding.
So they've got the records in Sussex County?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Graysville County. Were there two disbursements? Well, let me back up again. From what I know, Graysville County handled the money,
Yes.
and you had to request what you
Yes.
wanted in advance.
Yep.
And then they would send the money to you. So how much total did the town of Jarratt get from Graysville County?
Off the top of my head, I cannot tell you, because some of that actually, the fire department went directly to Greensville County instead of coming through the county. So the actual dollar amount, I cannot tell.
You had no obligation to tell council members anything about this.
I shared information every time something was spent.
That's not what I'm hearing, but anyway. In the ARPA funds, the American Release Plan Act, how much, I've seen three different figures. So how much that was paid directly to the town?
Yes.
From the state?
Yes.
How much money total did the town of Jarratt get?
It was in two different installments. I'm not gonna be able to quote you the exact figure, but it was like 106, something, some change.
106 for one?
Yes,
All right, how about the second?
same thing,
Same
exact
thing?
same thing.
From what I'm seeing, the town, what was available to the town of Jarratt was $593,460. Were you aware of that?
If our budget had have been higher, we would have qualified for that. But they based the amount of money that was given to localities on your budget. They only gave you a percentage of what your budget was.
Okay, you filed records on
Yes.
everything that was spent.
Yes,
And those records have been filed with the federal
yes,
people. And you also have copies you left here.
yes.
Do you have any way to get this together and explain to the citizens exactly what was spent, what it was spent for?
Everything is in this office.
When you got the money, what did you do with the money?
It went automatically into the bank.
Did you keep a separate account?
We didn't get a paper check. It was automatically deposited into the bank account. by the government.
Okay, I've asked you before about the air conditioning at the clubhouse. It was somewhere, maybe less than $17,000.
Somewhere right in there.
Okay, but you never asked the council for approval for that. You didn't, that was your discretion to spend however you wanted to?
There,
I beg to differ. She did ask
I'm
approval.
talking to the mayor.
Well, I beg to differ. She did ask approval.
it was discussed, it was explained that we could use our ARPA funding because it was requested, could we actually do that? And nobody said, no, we do not want to do that.
That was discussed with council.
Yes.
Well,
It sure
to
was.
my knowledge, council didn't know anything about that.
Nobody asked
Or
me.
how much. Okay, but I sure would like to have some answers. I'll get them, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
On the printouts we got, the bills to pay, y'all got the same papers, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Y'all's total down there at the bottom, it's not right. I went and added up all y'all's budget items there, and y'all are off by, $1,083.72.
What should it be?
It should be $5,438.95.
I'll check it, Keith. I'm sure it had something to do with deleting lines in the Excel spreadsheet and adding lines, and it probably didn't pick up the lines that I added. So
Okay,
I'll go back and fix it.
The, on the Dominion Energy one, the fourth one down, that doesn't have a number amount,
It
so
is a credit balance.
okay, cause if that gets added, it'd be higher.
There's nothing there to be added. It's just a credit balance, and so I don't put it on there as a bill to pay. But I wanna keep it there to hold the place, but it is a credit. I think the credit is $400 and some now, but I'll just keep it there, just like I say, to hold the place.
Okay, that's fine. I added them, 3 times just to make sure, so.
Like I say, it has something to do with Excel.
How much did you say it should be?
Total, $5,438.95.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sure, I do. May, I'd like to hand out one of these to everybody for transparency.
Thank you, sir.
No.
This is what we talked about last week.
And what that is from a previous employer is a checkoff sheet when you're operating a vehicle that needs to be done, reading all these ridiculous things being charged, had to be paid for a trash truck, for the tractor, anything that anybody operates needs to do a checkoff sheet and turn it into the mail or the manager or something, let people know what the mileage is, get the oil changed, get it serviced. And that's just food for thought for y'all. You could They raise some of them, that's for tractor trailers mainly, but 90% only applies to anything that y'all have. You need to know who's operating it, how many hours are operated, the mileage and everything like that. It keeps it from getting tore out of people. And it's just a little simple sheet, and somebody got to put the name on it, say they did it. I mean, when you get in anything, check the oil and top. Just don't go there and hit the key and take off.
Where do you get these sheets from, Smack? Can you order them offline or?
They come through Patrick.
Oh, I got you.
He got them by the case.
They can make copies.
Yeah, you can make copies of
Make
them.
copies.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
I mean, it's a check off sheet.
It's gonna save us money.
It needs to be, I mean, that's why I said I would bring y'all's attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
That's fine.
Does anybody want to make a motion that our employees start using the operations inspection sheets?
I think there's something real similar to this that already been brought to your attention, that a schedule type, but this works.
But
really
having a
well.
form
Yeah.
would make it easier.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept this.
Yeah, I agree.
We can incorporate this deal.
Yep, daily.
Right there. It's easy now to create.
I mean, you cover your tractor, your pickup, trash truck, 6-wheeler. I mean, I ain't talking about like a weed dealer, but
Yeah.
the big stuff.
I have a motion and a second that all of the town employees start using the pre-operations inspection form. Madam Clerk?
Rollins,
Yay.
Newberry,
Yay.
Smith,
Yay.
Wilson,
Yay.
Kessler,
Yay.
Myers,
Yeah.
Brown.
Yay.
And the motion passes. Judy, can you keep all things?
Yeah, big off.
Judy, I'm gonna keep so that you already have those. Yep.
I have 2 copies.
Okay.
Good to Judy. The only thing I see with that is it's overkill for, some things, and,
Your big equipment, trash truck,
your big
dump
stuff,
truck,
your truck, big stuff.
pickup truck.
Yeah, just,
Yeah,
I
some of
think
that stuff
we
is obsolete for
to
y'all.
make little different forms for each, depending on what it's,
Yeah.
what it's for.
Right. So, Ms. Pat, time clock?
Adam has worked with us, on the time clock. We have just a little bit more tweaking to do, but it's working well. We can pull, reports from the time clock, and we're still right now, doing manual timesheets so that we can match whether the timesheets, plus the time clock, agree. And once we're satisfied that they agree, and they did this past time, so I don't see that there would be any problem, but we're just gonna do it for a couple more weeks and make sure that everything is right, and, we'll start using the time clock exclusively versus timesheets. I think I'm the only one who doesn't have a fingerprint. But we're gonna work it out so that I can use a, code, so we'll get me fixed. The second thing on here is the petition for the speed bumps on Susan Street. I have contacted VDOT and we've got the process started. The first thing that has to happen is they will do a traffic survey. They'll come and put the strip across the street and see how many cars go up and down the street every day. And, that's the first piece of this. So they will get to that as soon as they can, so they are working on it.
Yeah, I'll do that settle down. What's going on with them?
Well, we've got the thing in motion, so I don't know whether we want to stop it. I haven't heard that it's,
It's not, they've been going up and down, but they've not been like flying, doing Mach 1 like they were racing. It has.
Success.
success.
I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I know you're right, thank you, Ron.
Sure.
You must have put the fear of God in.
Just talk to them. Right there.
If that works, I spend money.
Well, I should,
Yeah, well, no, we won't spend money. That has calmed down.
The problem today, I mean, because,
I don't think you will see him doing that.
I mean, I
It
can
has
call the,
calmed down, you know.
I can call the guy and just tell him that it's settled down and don't bother to put
Put
the,
it there.
do the traffic survey and all that.
I don't think you're gonna have a problem. I'm surprised. I told him what was gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I meant to say,
We're gonna stick you on a lot of folks then. We got a lot of folks we can work on.
that's what I said.
The Skyjack, we talked about it at the, work session, we're gonna get bids on that, and we talked about it, I think, in a couple of meetings. And, the two names that were mentioned were Michael E. Grizzard and the Reynolds Center over in Emporia. Contact them and get, what is, the Skyjack is that thing where, if you have a warehouse, it's the little thing that runs along. It's like a scissors truck type thing
Lifts you
where
up
you
in
can
the
put, boxes on it and lift them high. And the guys were using it to put up the Christmas decorations. But the wheels are about the size of, little bitty wheels. They're not supposed to be on the road.
You're gonna say that on the dangerous side.
Very dangerous. I mean, you're not supposed to put that Skyjack on a road.
Like you're gonna say, it's not supposed to be on the road.
So we'll figure out something else to do for the Christmas decorations, but we can. We don't have a bucket truck. No, we don't have one. But we can find one. But we can sell a Skyjack and get our money back and, you know, it's sitting there not doing us any good. So, we're gonna get rid of that.
And I believe somebody said reach out to Bain
Well, with,
Friday.
I talked to Bain about the pipe, I thought.
Yeah, but also
Can we
the
talk about
Skyjack.
Skyjack also? Okay. All right, that would give us 3 on that then, good. All right, well, the pipe is the next thing. We've got some pipe that was bought, hoping that it would work for the drainage, but it was not the right type of pipe. And we've got about 70 pieces back there, so, Patrick Matthews has already looked at it, and he's supposed to be working up a bid on it. But, we were gonna reach out to Bain Rideout and, or to MB, either one, and to Michael Lee Grizzard for that also, see if they would like to buy it and maybe we bid on it.
Hold up one second. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
On that Skyjack,
Yes, ma'am.
who voted to get that? The council?
The council.
Who was on council then? I won't know that.
I don't know.
Who's the last council? Harrison.
Nobody didn't know then that it wasn't any good?
Harrison, Young, Gainer, myself.
Y'all didn't know then that it wouldn't work?
No, we didn't know. We didn't see the paperwork on it, and I didn't even know what it looked like really. But, we were told that it was something that the, workers could use to put up Christmas decorations. And then, I guess they decided it was too early, and they were afraid to use it. Well, the new staff came aboard, they said, I think it's supposed to be used on the highway, so, Pat or Judy or someone found the, manual, and it plainly states in there, that it's to be used in a warehouse or cement, not on the highway.
Just wondering.
Yes, council, yeah, the mayor found it, it was a good price, we thought it's what we needed, but it was not. Council did vote to purchase it, yes.
Doing research.
All right, at the work session, the council members were given something that Mark Flynn came up with. It's called the Draft Rules of Council Ordinance. They looked it over and discussed it, and, there was no disagreement with anything that was written there. There was just some discussion about it. I do not think we need to vote on it tonight. I think it needs to go one more week. Just as, it's a lot of parts and pieces to it. So I think if everybody, looks it over again one more time, we'll vote on it next month, instead of voting on it this month. I have a couple of copies here if anybody would like to to take them. It's about 4 or 5 pages of it. But if anybody would like a copy of it, I'll be glad to share those with you. But I do think we need to hang in there 1 more month before we vote on these. It's kind of a lot of stuff. So we'll vote on it next time. The kid remodeling, we were talking to them back in May, and they were giving us bids back in May, and we thought they were gonna come within a couple of weeks and start working on this building, but it's been delayed, and I think Ann has talked to Mr. Kidd. He was planning this week or next week?
Hopefully this week or first of next week, hopefully, so he said.
Right.
If something changes, he'll call.
Okay. So
He was
that,
very apologetic, but I think he had so much work that
yes.
he's right now. First thing he's gonna do is operations.
They're being kind to me because my wheelchair does not go over these thresholds very well. I kind of go bumpity bumpity, and every bumpity hurts. So they're being kind, getting the thresholds down first. But they have a lot of things to do, a lot of things that will help the building get it looking good and get the building back to get some things that are just age related. An old building just needs some refreshing, remodeling. Yeah. So a lot of that has to do with age of the building. It happens. It happens to people too. We need some remodeling too.
Yeah, the capital. Yeah, they got a quick question about the thresholds and stuff. He added that to the bid and all that good stuff, correct?
Yes, they're there.
That was in the original. He left the concrete out of the original bid. Is what it was. Yeah, he left the concrete out, but the thresholds were in it. That's what I thought. We approved it 2 months ago.
Were in it, and the concrete was added.
Okay.
And the concrete we're talking about is the sidewalk right here. It was, the way it was fixed now is when ADA came out, everything had to be ADA compliant. So they kind of put some concrete down to make it a ramp, but it's not a real ramp. It's kind of a pseudo ramp. It works for a ramp, but it needs to be fixed properly. Under new business, it's been brought to our attention that there are some equipment purchases that we need to make, and again, this can be done through Jarratt Hardware, keeping things here in the local community instead of going outside and buying things. But Andy gives us a good price on the things that we do buy. The things that were mentioned specifically were a pressure washer, an air compressor, and some other air tools, and I'm not sure whether there are other things that are needed, but the idea was to set a price, a limit, and then say buy the things that we needed, keep it under that limit. And I think Adam and Brandon have been working on this. Would y'all like to speak to this?
So, Mr. Rollins and I went to the hardware store this afternoon and priced the air compressor and the pressure washer. Runs roughly $14.48 for the two. Now he does, however, have battery powered tools on sale. That is a very nice set that we looked at. That is going for $850. That being said, it's $22.98 as a total. You're going to need some other miscellaneous tools with the air compressor, hoses, air chucks. What else, Brown?
Yeah,
Yeah. The battery power tools, it was a grinder, it was saw.
Reciprocating saw,
reciprocating saw.
impact, a screwdriver.
Yep, impact, screw guns. It was a very nice set.
Stuff you actually needed.
Comes with batteries, I think. We were looking, and it's all gonna, if it gets passed and approved, it's all gonna be labeled and locked up and kept here. It's not gonna be anywhere, gone anywhere. It's not to be removed from here unless they need it working somewhere. I guess we were looking at what, around 3,000? I had started at 2,500, and after pricing everything today, the 2,500 was the compressor and the pressure washer. But then with that tool set also, which I think they will get very good use out of. And then
Pressure washer, this is 14, yeah, for these two large items, right?
yes, plus 850 is 2298. Then you're gonna have some miscellaneous things. We can cap it somewhere around 3,000.
Don't go for 30,000.
What? I'm not sure what size compressor they're looking
It
at.
was I think it was 60 gallon.
Yeah.
All right, my next question is, what are they gonna do with a 60-gallon
It
compressor?
might have been more than
What do they need a
I think
60-gallon
it's
compressor?
190. It's a 190 psi.
Yeah, tractor
So they can pump up, because you know just as good as I do.
Yeah,
You
cover
put big
rate.
tires up, it's going to equalize and not the ball.
Yeah.
Truck time, put more, 110 pounds.
Yeah. Well, it's mobile too. It has wheels. It can roll it around.
So it's upright.
Yes, it's upright. It's not a stationary floor compressor.
110 or 220?
110.
So they gotta be run out.
No.
Lays down to the road. Stand up.
I'm gonna furnish some Jarratt, some tools and stuff that I got that I'm not gonna use. I've got stuff at the house that's in the shop. I'm gonna furnish all kinds of stuff back to Jarratt.
I mean, you will donate.
Well, that's where I was with that. These guys need some more things. They're eager to work on it. They want to work on it. It's kind of what Brandon and I have to present to the council,
Need to work on it.
or need to work on it. Yeah. That's where that's at. So, you got anything?
No, I think they'll get good use out of the tools. We gotta give them something to work with. Reciprocating saws is gonna be a big one. The angle grinder that comes with that battery operated kit for lawnmower blades, bush hog, whatever they want to use.
There was nothing in there to work with, we don't know. There was absolutely nothing.
Who you looking at, Milwaukee or Steel?
Milwaukee.
How many batteries you gonna have for all of them? Just
I
one,
think,
two?
no,
6 batteries.
I think it comes with 5 of them. I think it's 5, but we can inventory them and label them like we do
With
the
the charging back?
Yeah.
Or any of your tools, you're talking about battery operated like they're talking about, it's not, you're just a regular tool.
So the batteries.
I'd talk about it myself.
Well, the tools that I got, when I get them all straight, let him come down and take them up and
Oh,
put
sure.
them on truck.
Yeah.
I got stuff at the house that I'm not gonna use.
Judy just said she had a grinder that they could use. I'm sure they'll find uses for that.
If it can, that's where that was. If it could be adjusted in the budget under your miscellaneous stuff for equipment and tools.
Question of, was when, I furnished the Jarratt, the ladders, what happened to them?
They should still be
Both the
back
fiberglass, one was a 32-foot fiberglass
Yeah,
ladder.
because that one was, they should still
I
be
think it's
back
still back there.
there.
There's two of them, it was fiberglass,
Yeah.
one was
One's aluminum. There's aluminum one there too.
that was fiberglass, the other was fiberglass too.
Yeah, they should
That
both
was
be back
10,
there.
12 foot.
Because one of them was really long.
Oh, it's 32 foot.
Yeah.
That was one I furnished to them in case they're using Christmas lights, whatever, for music.
Yep, because yeah, they actually used that tall one, that one.
I can't tell you what's back there, I can't get back there. Christina.
No,
No, I don't wanna bump over those rocks. But I think Adam and Brandon and Judy have all looked at what's back there, they can tell you better than I can what's there. Adam, do you wanna make your?
So,
make
yeah,
a
I'll,
simple motion?
we'll, I guess we'll vote on it, right?
yeah, I'm
I'll
crying.
make a motion if, we can adjust budget on, tools under your, motor pool section, I believe, what it was. Or somewhere there.
Alright.
For a 3,000 cap to get started with.
But you've already spent over 3,000 here.
I'm sorry?
These two numbers you gave us is already over $3,000.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It's
$599
the
and
compressor.
$849 is not over
It's
3,000.
the compressor and the washer together over 1,448.
That's what I know, but then he's got the tools, $22.98.
No.
$850 for the battery operated ones.
What did you,
That's
okay, never mind.
1448 plus 850.
Okay, got it, okay.
And the-
I heard
We
you.
have equipment purchased at 4,400.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So, 3,000,
Yeah.
that'll give a little room to,
Blades, grinding blades, stuff like that.
I think the set comes with some of that stuff to start with, but you're gonna need it as time
We
goes.
were at big quick.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion on that at 3,000
Second.
to cap it for now,
Yep.
and adjustments will be needed if needed. It will all come from the hardware store, so
Hold
it'll
on,
be,
hold on. I was actually, what's actually budgeted for this year is $1,000.
that's what I said, all put together.
Combine a couple of line items.
Yeah. Equipment purchases.
Yeah, 67 high.
Yep, 1,000. Supplies would be another 1,000. You got gas, oil, and grease at $96.90.
And I think with all the improvements that we made to the trucks, we hope we will not use as much of the
We
grease and the
have
oil and all that.
67C miscellaneous equipment repairs, which tools are needed for that at $1,500. So I think we're well over 3,000 right now.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion at 3,000 and adjust accordingly as needed.
Second.
Madam Clerk, I have a motion and a second that will allow the spending of up to $3,000 for pressure washer, air compressor,
Battery power tools.
battery powered tools.
Need to add in Lee's miscellaneous items. Let's just add that in right at the end. But yes, yay.
O'Berry,
Yay.
Smith,
Yay.
Wilson,
Yay.
Cantor,
Yay.
Myers,
Yay.
Graham.
Yay.
And the motion passes.
I'll call
What's that?
Jeremy and see if I can get him to meet me down there maybe tomorrow, or if nothing else, I'll go talk to Andy and see if we can just set aside until we can purchase it.
Tomorrow's trash day.
Hey, I'm not worried about it. I'll get with him.
Wednesday would
I'll
probably
get-
be
I'll get
better.
with
He's got somewhere he needs to be, Wednesday, that's right here in town.
I'll get with it. If nothing else, I'll talk to Andy and see if we
Wednesday
can set
afternoon
it
would be
aside.
good. Okay.
Like I saw right there on the lunch break.
As of July first, according to what the, town council was talking about at the work session, we now have a new version of QuickBooks. It is the online version. It is not the desktop version. So if anything ever happens to it again, it will be backed up, it will not be lost. It's gonna take us a while to get everything right. It's like, categories that they want you to use don't fit us, they don't fit a municipality, they're for a business. There are a lot of tweaks that have to be done. But as of July first, we have a brand new version of it. Don't know how much of what we did in the past we'll have to carry forward, I have no idea. Some of the payroll, that sort of thing, for year end, because you have to do things at year end instead of July 1. You may have to carry some of that stuff forward, but I'm working with them. So we do have a new version of QuickBooks, and hopefully within the next few months we will have some decent reports coming out of it, so we can tell where we are, what we're doing, how we're doing. And it's just like what Adam was talking about with these tools. We are gonna have to add several categories together, because the budget that you have is just a, oh yes, because we didn't have a lot of things to work with. So anyway, we'll get there. The only other thing I have is the picnic tables that we talked about for our guys. They were eating lunch under the tree out here in these blistering hot days. And Judy has been very kind to bring them inside, and we're eating inside now. We're all eating sandwiches Judy's providing. It's been a great treat in the cool, but temperatures are going to moderate at some point. So I suggested that we get a couple of picnic tables, one to put under the tree. In fact, I said one, somebody else said, well, let's get a second one to put under the shed, so when it's raining, they can eat under there if they like to. Just, when they're out in the blistering heat, they even said themselves at times it's hard to come in to the air conditioner, cool off, and go back in the heat. It is terrible. So if we have picnic tables out there and they want to eat out there and just cool off under the shade of the tree, somebody mentioned Warren Lane had picnic tables that he used for years for his annual picnics. I talked to Warren today, and he is not planning to use them again. And I asked if he would sell us a couple of them, and he kind of hemmed and hawed. He didn't say, I won't sell them to you, but he said, let him come look at some. He said, they may not be in the best of shape. I said, if they need painting, our guys can paint them. If they need a few screws or nails or something, they can handle that. And I said, we'll send you a check for them. You tell us what you want for them. I know Warren well enough to know the sum total is going to be $0. But I can tell you, I'm probably going to send him at least $100 if he sells this. If he lets us have the two of them. I think they're worth it to give the guys. And if y'all disagree, I'll take the $100 out of my own pocket and put it out there. But I think we can swing that for our guys that are out there doing a good job. I think it would be something they would enjoy, and something we can, say that We're at least not making them drag chairs out there and.
They save buckets.
Okay.
That's sitting on buckets.
Sitting on buckets.
Two of them, right?
Yeah.
One for the tree and then one to put under the
Shed.
under the garage.
And that one under the shed, if they have a little project they're working on or something that they can use it, for that. I mean, it's not like it has to be used for just a picnic, but it would just be a table that would be there. So, do I have y'all's approval? Somebody will
Eric
move
has a
here?
question.
Miss Pat,
Yes, darling.
the job that they're doing is looking nice, and weeded that ditch down by her house. They cut grass around this time they ain't been cutting 20 years. All this money we're spending on this, we can't afford to buy 2 new picnic tables from Lowe's or somewhere for them men to sit down and sit out and work on something or paint it before they can eat on it.
Well, no one knows the
I
problem.
mean, gee,
We definitely could.
2 picnic tables can't cost $800.
We could.
That's
This was, Lauren probably wants to get rid of those picnic tables and,
I mean,
if these don't work out well, then we can do
I'm just
exactly what you're
visualizing, you
saying.
gotta paint it, replace the board, or tighten the screw.
No.
The unit, those got 2 picnic tables be going.
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide you want some brand new ones, you don't wanna go to Lowe's, ride right on into Emporia, Kitchen's Home Improvement will make you the size you want.
You see, Warren made these himself.
Yes, he did.
I know
You know,
that.
he's a great carpenter for, and he had about 6 or 8 for his October festival he had every year, but they're just not up to it anymore. So I feel pretty sure these tables are in good shape. Warren's not going to have anything that he made that's not. I don't think you'll have any problems with it.
I think he was just kind of covering himself, just in case something is not perfect. Warren is a perfectionist. So I think they can be done well, and I don't think we'll have any trouble.
They were old.
It's the system.
It's the system.
So is that a motion?
Well, do we need, I can't make a motion. I'm not.
Less than 500, I don't think we have.
Okay.
So we get cancel.
And knowing Warren, he's going to set first up here.
I second the motion.
We're gonna send it.
Yeah, I have a motion, I have a second.
Yep, I'll second it, if we all wanna vote on it.
So, yeah.
Rollins,
Yay.
Woodbury,
Yay.
Smith,
Yay.
Wilson,
Yay.
Kinsley,
Yay.
Myers,
Yay.
and Brown.
Yay.
Motion passes.
Eric, I think you brought up a good point that I didn't have written down. Our guys are doing a lot of things in this town that haven't been done in a long time, and maybe never, making it look better.
Yes, they are.
And I will tell you one thing that I have told them to do, there are corners in town, I know y'all come to, same as I do, intersections, and you look to your left and you can't see because of the weeds, the grass, may not be in the town of Jarratt. And one of them that I can tell you is on Main Street where it meets Halifax, right there at the railroad track. I have come to that intersection many times, looked to my left, and the weeds and the things were so high, I have to ease out. So I have told them, even though that is not in the town of Jarratt, I said, it is for the safety of the town people. If you see a corner like that, where the weeds are so high, yes, the highway department is supposed to take care of it, I understand. It is not in the town of Jarratt necessarily, some of them are, some aren't, I understand that. But if it saves one life from somebody getting T-boned, it's worth it. So I've told them, if you see corners like that, cut them down. Cut them down so that people can see.
Sure.
So if y'all hear somebody complaining about they're cutting this, that, and the other, and they don't need to be doing this, that, and the other, Send them to me. Send them to me. I will tell them why.
I'm sorry.
Honey, we ain't make that one happy, so that's okay. That's been a long, that's been a long time. That is all that I have. Yes.
Can you clarify the position with QuickBooks? Because I know back when this all started, like around January, I think Melanie said that the town of Jarratt already had online QuickBooks.
We did.
Right? Are you still able to get into it? Okay, so,
It
I
was
mean,
a
it's,
desktop version.
No,
It was-
no, it was not. It was an online version.
Well, it says desktop on it. 2019 desktop.
Yeah, that was the old one. But what we had was the online version.
The entire thing has been deleted because it isn't.
well, online QuickBooks is not something you can delete. It's on the website. I mean,
Right.
you log in.
Right.
I can't imagine that it could have been deleted. But I mean, I would really
Making the point.
try to find where that's at, because you hate to lose years and years of financial records for the town
Shows you a whole lot.
that we pay for audits on that we have no information to go with.
The earliest or the latest that we can get would be what Cradle and Jones had to do their last audit. And that was in sometime in 2020. And they shared what they had, their files with us. They could not recover them. And I don't know whether it's because it's a different file format, earlier version versus a later version, I don't know.
Have you tried reaching out to QuickBooks directly? Because I know they they have technicians just for online
I
QuickBooks.
have a meeting with them tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
And we're gonna do as much.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that it got deleted, because that's the point of online QuickBooks is it backs up all the time.
Automatically.
Yeah.
But Mike, didn't you try?
I never, no, I
You did
didn't.
not try to
No.
find QuickBooks?
No. There's a desktop version on that computer. I could never get emails and stuff and passwords to try to get into the online version.
There was not an online version when you, it's not there.
I just remember at a meeting I was at, Melanie said she
Yes,
logged into it.
It's there.
So, like I said, I'd hate for the town to lose all of that information. I mean, because you got to take, for example, the budget y'all just did. You just closed your eyes and threw numbers out because you didn't have any financial information from 2023. So,
But if you wanna come find an online version, help yourself.
I would suggest calling QuickBooks, because you should have an email that's associated with it, and that's what they'll use
We're
to
having,
look that
I'm
count
having
up.
a meeting with
So.
QuickBooks tomorrow.
I have a suggestion. Can we get these minutes emailed to us or whatever so we can read them beforehand? We killed up 20 minutes in here
I
today.
agree with you.
Tonight,
Yeah.
I mean.
Judy and I have worked on that. We're gonna work on it harder. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna try. Try our best. Yes, ma'am.
I have two questions. My first one was, did any of you ever add up the totals for the bills? And what did you get?
$5,438.95.
Okay. And my second question is, on the minutes, like for the last one on June 10th, do y'all still record on the recorder, or do you just do the best you can with writing it? Because there's a lot of stuff on here that's not on here that happened that night.
It's recorded.
You just leave some things out, or you just decide, or?
What section?
I don't think we don't do it verbatim, word for word, but I think most of what went on gets in there.
Okay. Okay, just asking.
Now, I will say, now, what you're talking about right there, somebody said something to me today, all the stuff, some stuff that was said, that wasn't said. It was sort of in between. And because there's some questions on some of the minutes, on how some of the stuff was done. Because some just said we need a day of it. Yeah,
Things were
somebody know for
being
sure.
added or left out or?
Some stuff that was turned around or changed in different states, different ways.
Example? Well, yeah.
Where
I
was
mean,
that
that's
at?
why everybody reads them and
Right,
they
right.
go
This
along.
is something that was said that didn't come out in the same way it was said.
Did this individual tell you exactly what she was talking about or he was talking about?
Yeah.
Can you help us with that?
All right, I'll find it.
Well,
Alright,
that's.
I'm just saying, what she's talking about right now, the minutes and all has, people listen to the minutes a whole lot. They listen to what goes on, what's said, an individual says something, but they won't hear the same words that they said.
So Ronnie, so they're saying their words were twisted?
It's kind of turned around.
And didn't give no indication as to what part.
If somebody's gonna tell you something like that, they need to be very specific, tell us what happened, we can go back
So we
and
can.
listen, we can go back and listen to the tape.
I dragged their own butts down here and tell it.
Ma'am,
I said they dragged their own butts down here and tell it.
Do you
If
still,
they can drag their own butts down here and tell it,
yes.
instead
Yes,
of giving it to somebody
yes,
else to say.
exactly, thank you. Thank you, Ruth, that's
Yes,
exactly what
ma'am.
needs to happen.
do y'all keep the recordings? Do you still have the
Yes.
recording from this meeting?
Yes,
Cause you can listen to it and you can read with this and you would tell that it's stuff that's not on here, that is on that recording. Cause I was here that night and there's stuff on here that's, if y'all recorded it, that was said with different folks and it's not on here.
you know, there's some
What part are you
times
on?
when there's a discussion, and it might go on for 5 or 10 minutes, but you can't necessarily write down every word that was said because
But you're recording it though,
we're
right?
recording.
Yeah.
Yes, the recording is there, and if there's ever.
And it can
something
be
that-
summarized.
It can be summarized, yes, it can be. Yes.
But you only need one person talking at a time, 5, 10, 15 people. Can't talk at one time, you can't hear 'em.
That's a good point.
Everybody
And you're
needs it one-on-one.
You're right. Now, tonight has been fine.
It's been better.
It's been better. Been better. But we have had meetings where we had 10 people talking at one time and you can't catch it all. So that's a good point, Ruth. I think we all need to listen. If you're talking, we need to listen to you. If I'm talking, listen to me.
Raise your hand. You wanna speak, raise your hand. It comes your turn. I'll get tired of this and I'll put this in there. I mean, you know.
And in following Robert's Rules of Order, that's exactly what is supposed to happen. You're supposed to be recognized to talk.
Yes.
So, good point, good point. And if you will tell your person, whoever it is, to be more specific and tell us exactly what he or she said that didn't get.
You're gonna hear, I mean, they're coming back.
Okay. Okay.
I just said it tonight because
Okay.
it was said to me.
Okay, okay.
It's not for me to go back and say it, but my question was because the same thing come up, like she said. Things are made that don't, not really the way they say it.
I understand what they're saying, and you can say one thing and I can understand it this way, and Adam understands a different way, and you know, that's why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people are reading them through, and can do exactly what Ann did tonight, and I think Adam did correct. There are things that are wrong. The GIS was wrong. The ARPA was wrong. It got typed up. Judy typed them. I read them. Neither of us caught it. You know, we're human. And things could have been said.
Any better, they can come and do it. I'll put that in the minutes.
That's a good point though, but the person, we would like for the person to come to us and say, this is what I said, and, you know, we can go back and listen to it and see if it was distorted in some way, or?
No problem. I have no problem.
We're not here to throw stones or to throw shade over something that should be in the open. We want everything in the open, and we don't want things to be misinterpreted or.
Well, mine was not to start anything. Mine is just to say, some stuff is said sometimes that does not come out the same way somebody puts it down or written thing.
I got you. Well,
That kind of makes a difference.
I got you, and it happens in conversations, it
Yes.
happens in everything. But again, I'm gonna say we cannot put down word for word, verbatim, everything that's said, or the minutes would be 12 pages long, and not a soul would read them. So, we have to summarize some things, we have to, and maybe the summarization is not exactly right, and maybe that's the problem, but, you know, we try. We try. And if you see something that's wrong, speak up. Speak up. And go back and listen to the tape if we have to. And fix it. Okay. That's all I have.
That is the last item on the agenda.
May I ask a question? I'm gonna direct it to you and Miss Pat.
Okay.
Everybody knows my wife. She don't come no more. They got a little bit of taste in her mouth. But the clerk's position that she was asked to do and fill in, it's been going on for over 6 months. She has not seen one red penny that y'all agreed to pay her or a check. I think it's gone on long enough. Will somebody please do something about it?
Eric, we need her to fill out a timesheet.
She had one filled out, gave it to Judy the night she told you that she was not gonna do it anymore. She turned her time into y'all.
I'm sorry.
I am too,
We'll
that's
take
more
care of it.
bad bookkeeping. And I think y'all need to step up and do what y'all say y'all will do. That's
I'm
part of the
sorry
reason why she
let
don't
it go
come.
this long. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Speaking for
We're waiting
her.
on the PA system.
Well, y'all ain't got bids back from that, did I?
He came up and he said that the amplifier was going out, it's not repairable.
Well, I moved back here to see if I can hear you on.
And he is getting us prices on gooseneck speakers and a new amplifier, microphones and a new amplifier.
Whatever you have to do.
Well, that's what we're doing.
The people outside want to know,
I know they do. And we want them to know.
those local things too,
If they want to know really bad, they'll come on in here.
well, this is me.
I know, but what I'm saying is, we've had somebody come in.
No, this is me
He's
saying this.
evaluated everything, and we're waiting for his price.
There's people on that side do need to hear, and they need to know, some people can't come in here, but they need to hear it being discussed by everybody, and everybody know what's going on. I know y'all have meetings between the members, going backward, and y'all discuss things. But some of the people need to know what's being discussed out here, before y'all go back there and make y'all hear it, discuss it out here, and you go back there and make a decision, but it should be discussed,
Part of it too, Ronnie, we have a switch up under here,
to cut it off.
and if you wiggle that switch, it'll actually,
Feel like these quit working tonight.
They were on,
They were working.
they were on when I first got here.
but, yeah, well, see, when we first started, because we wiggled the switch, and then whatever, so it's, my personal opinion, there is a short in that switch, because if we can wiggle it, and that it works,
You got a mess up in a second, in a while, but that's.
to the electrician.
I quit.
Anything else?
Well,
Alright.
yeah, I'm gonna add something when we're thinking, we talked about trying to do what Michael and Lauren have done on their own, thankfully, to the town. Yeah.
That's
Getting-
rather than value.
Yes, getting a system that the town owns that does that, so that Michael and Lauren don't have to do it for us. Although we appreciate everything they've done, greatly appreciate it. But it needs to be for the town needs to be doing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that right there has been very, very beneficial.
Oh, absolutely,
Look at what goes on.
absolutely.
The mayor brought that up to a vote, and nobody wanted to do it.
She did. Well, I thought we.
No, this was a while back.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I started bringing my own personal.
Well,
Nobody
maybe
wanted to
we
do
need
it.
we need to circle around it again then.
Because it was brought up, but nobody wanted to do it.
Alright, so, with everything covered, we will adjourn, and it is 8:26.